I
Yes,
love my
sir.
introduction. It is another episode of Say It Loud
Woo.
podcast with your girl Karen L here, of course.
Gotta
I'm
love
just
it.
loving it, loving it, loving it. So welcome to season 9 of Say It Loud podcast. It's actually been 4 years that we've been doing what we do, and we're growing and getting bigger. And this season, we have Rondell Bartley here
Woo.
enjoying some time and space and energy with us.
Yeah,
Rondell, what's
yeah.
up?
I made the cut. I
You
made the
you made the
cut.
cut. It's by
I made the
invitation
cut.
only. It's by invitation only.
Yes, yes. And I'm loving it. And I'm loving it. Congratulations to 9 seasons.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. I
Congratulations to
feel
nine
like
seasons.
old, but okay.
You're just as young as you want to be, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
So Rondell, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do, because they're like, who is that? Who's Rondell?
All right, cool. Where should I begin? Well, first and foremost, Rondell, I am one fourth of a music group, McFadden.
Okay.
Shout
Yo,
out to the
yo,
merch.
yo,
Shout out
yo.
to the merch. We are a inspirational soul gospel band. We came
Nice.
up from New York City, uh, born and raised in the Bronx and in Brooklyn, back and forth.
More
Yeah,
fire.
got to give it up for New York. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
There's an
Was there
essence to
majority of
New
my life.
York
Yeah, yeah.
and
Like
New
New York is,
Yorkers.
yeah. It's that. It's gritty, but then you gotta love it. Like
Yeah, you gotta love it or hate
gotta
it,
love it.
one or the other.
Mhm. Mhm. Which kind of brings me to who I am. Being like a PK, they call pastors' kids. My brothers and I, our mentor, my uncle, and their father, Bishop Darrell McFadden. He is my uncle and godfather. We all grew up together as brothers. Our mothers had started us singing when we were like, as long as I can remember, I want to say
Right.
5, 6, 7, in our little matching suits and ties with
Yeah,
the little bow
yeah.
ties of a gospel inspirational soul group named McFadden. We came up under Bishop Darrell McFadden, who was our mentor, my uncle, godfather, and father of my brothers and other group counterparts.
Hmm.
Uh, we basically are a mixture of sounds. We came up in a quartet industry. Our bishop and our father came up in that quartet sound. And quartet is like, for many who don't know, it's like that 4 man group. They used to have
Yeah,
the black and white videos, hand
yeah,
clapping,
yeah.
that old school
Standing up
time
there
church.
singing their hearts out.
Yeah, yeah. So that's pretty much what we grew up on. Like it was birthed into us. We didn't have no choice. Like it was not beat into us Joe Jackson like, but
Right.
practically we came up in it. So seeing that and then growing up in New York City and still being young, born in the '90s, we still had like the other like type of gospel groups and the other type of inspirational groups that was inspirational to us, like some
Right.
R&B and soul groups that kind of molded us
Yeah.
rhythmically and melodically to create us, like New Edition, the Jackson Five, the Temptations, the same groups that still have those same roots of quartet gospel.
Right. And
So for us,
influence.
yeah, that influence. So we're taking it now, mashing it all up to create our own sound. So we really started with our first project as kids. I want to say we were like 11,
Wow.
12.
That's young.
Yeah, that's back when before there was like iTunes and all of that. We
Yeah,
had the
that's
little
young.
white CDs printed out and everything, handing them
Remember
out in
those?
school. Oh man, those are the days.
So
Like
at
going to
that
school.
point, did you
Yeah.
pick the songs, or were you writing the songs at that point at 11
At
years
that
old?
point, at that point, there was a song that we did at 11. Let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. I had to be around 13 because I was about to go into high school. At that time, we were writing, but it was more in a sense of like not even knowing we were writing. You get what I'm saying? It was more just
Right.
kids having fun, and we'll be with our dad, our father, and he'll be behind the organ at his church that we all, had no other choice but to go to.
Right.
And it'd be after church, and we was just playing around, messing around, and just going over little stuff. And one person would sing, "Nobody gonna love me." And then another person say, like Jesus.
Right.
Another person say, nobody can love me. Another person say, like the Lord. And then something as simple as that. As
Right.
kids, 13, 12, 11, and 14, 15, it was, it just kind of molded us. And then creative wise, it was just us having fun, like
Right.
with dad, sometimes even without dad, and then going to school and then like hearing like hip hop
Right.
and then like hearing R&B music and be like, whoa,
Right.
what's this? And then like, oh, I
Right.
like this too. So now being older and once we got to like change and rebrand our sound to go from kids into something more
Adulthood.
official
Right.
around the time we were like 17, 18, 19. This was let's say 2010. I graduated from high school. That was kind of the time stamp on it, and we came out with a small little like 2 song EP kind of
Uh-huh.
thing, 2 singles together on iTunes. With our previous name, our name used to be Daryl McFadden Jr. and the Junior Disciples.
Okay. That's a lot.
That's a long name. I know.
That's a long name.
We had to switch it up
Yeah.
because the our father's name was Daryl McFadden Sr. His name is Daryl McFadden
Right.
Sr. Excuse me. The name of the group at the time was Daryl McFadden and the Disciples. So
Right.
us being kids under
Right.
his little
It is
trademark,
right.
his
I get
trademark,
it. I get it.
we tried to, put our little spin on it, but it was cute.
Right.
So like, coming up and then going into adulthood, we came out with a 2 song project called For Boys to Men with 2 song EP, and people like listened to it and was like, whoa, like the sound was a lot different. It was more soulful, rhythmic R&B kind of style as far as like background progressions,
Right.
but still had that old time
Yeah.
soul on it, and still had that church on it, that church to it, that thing that just make you wanna when you don't even. I know people that I grew up with in like New York City, Bronx, New York, that they wouldn't set foot in the church,
Right.
or like they. I'll take that back. They wouldn't set foot in the church now, but they grew up in that. Like their
Right.
roots were in that. Their
Right.
grandmother pulled their ear to go to that. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when
Mm-hmm.
me and my brothers we chilling with our homies and we playing that, and they like shoulders just start bouncing,
Right. Right. Right.
feet just
If you
start
know,
moving a
you
little bit.
know.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So to now to look back at all of that, it feels good to have like a turning point on where we like rebranded ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
really meshed our sound up, and still stay true to what we love and what we know, which is the tradition and the legacy, and passing on the legacy of Bishop McFadden.
Wow. That's such a beautiful story. And then you have music, so it's all documented.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like you actually have something documented to
Oh,
show that progression.
good luck trying to find those that first CD.
It's got to
Good
be
luck trying to find
somewhere.
it. It's somewhere. We gonna find it.
Somebody
It's
has it
somewhere. It's
somewhere.
somewhere.
Well,
Somebody got it.
that's
Yeah,
the
somebody got it.
so growing up, were you allowed to? Is the word secular? Is that right?
Some would say secular.
Mhm.
Secular is the correct term.
Okay, so
Anything,
were
or
you
some would say
allowed?
worldly. But
Right. So with your dad being like a pastor, were you allowed to listen to secular music? Or when did you
well,
have, like did that have an
hmm.
influence on you?
Well, I have to go a little further deeper into it because Bishop McFadden is my uncle. It's just
Right.
he has that father figure on me because he grew up as my uncle, my godfather, and my pastor. But
Right.
growing up, my mom and his wife, they're sisters. My mom was a single mother growing up, so there was some things that still never was rebellious, but there was still
Mhm.
things that I always questioned.
Sure.
And always being a youth, you question a lot of things, especially at young ages, and
Yeah,
you want to try
adolescence is
things.
real.
Yeah, oh yeah, you want to try things. You want to be able to put your ear to certain things. You want to be able to put your feet on the ground and run.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
but I think a lot of those things were needed.
Right.
To really like you got to experience life to know how to deal with life,
Right.
and not just on the musical aspect. I know your question was predominantly music based, but I think it's more than just music. But even with the music is how we latch on. So those were all the sounds that we latched on to. Even
Mm-hmm.
though, for example, like I like listening to Jodeci records sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a moment for everything. Like I'm a
Mm-hmm.
young man. I'll be 32. I'm getting married this year. My fiance and I.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so sometimes me and my fiance we gonna listen to a little Jodeci.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So whatever you want. Like sometimes I just wanna just
Yeah.
listen to it. It's nostalgic, and a lot of people don't know just like the background, the history. Casey and JoJo, they actually started in a quartet group, in a gospel group
Mm-hmm.
as kids. A lot of
Right.
people don't know that. So it's a lot of people pay a lot of attention to the lyrics and not really the sound and not really
Right.
the feeling and the expression that goes into the music. Because
Very true.
even though a lot of their lyrics was like considered secular lyrics, they still had that. They still had that church in there. They
Right.
still had
Right.
that
Right.
soul connection. They still had that connection. So we were still able to feel it. And then also with Bishop McFadden, you know, he was a bishop, but he was also a musician. He was also an artist as well.
Right.
So there never was like a limitation as far as musically on what to listen to. It
Okay.
was just mostly stuff that you can feel, that you can coincide with, that wouldn't tarnish. I would say not even tarnish your soul, but just what's for you and what's not for you. You
Right.
know, even now you have your moments. There's a song for everything. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I'm mad, I listen to this song. When I'm
Right.
happy, I listen to this song. When I'm sad, I listen to this song.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when that fella done told you what he told you and got you feeling the way you feeling, ladies,
Right.
you
You
got a
find
song to go
something.
back to.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so so I don't want to put it as like secular music. Music is music, and there's an expression and a feeling for everything. Because even now, genres, there's no
Right.
like walls. Everything is
Yeah,
getting torn
everything's
down.
crossed over now. Well, the
Mhm.
reality is like sometimes people don't always love the gospel music, but the gospel music in the church has made so many artists. There are
That's a
so
fact.
many strong artists and successful, very, very, very
hmm
successful artists.
D'Angelo's, your Tanks, your Kelly Prices,
Whitney
and so forth.
Houston,
Whitney Houston, Marvin Gaye, even
yeah,
James Brown. Say it
yeah.
loud. Hey, you
Yeah,
gotta
there
let me
are
get that drop for you
so
one day.
many. And like when you hear it, right? The
Mhm.
soul and the energy and the effort that's behind the vocals there. I know so many people that you didn't even know what their talent was until they got up there in that church.
The passion, like that heart. Like when you got that. Well, me and my brothers, we got a joke. We the prayer oil and the
Yeah.
the anointing. When you got the anointing, we say you got that oil. You
Mm-hmm.
got that oil on you.
Mm-hmm.
When you got that oil on you, it carries with you wherever
Right.
you go. And through that oil, people can feel God. Like they might not even know what they're feeling in that moment,
Right.
but they can feel God through you, through that oil, through that anointing.
That is so dope. So, what is this experience like? How has it been in the quartet and to be able to work with four people and making music?
Oh man. To be honest and transparent, it hasn't been hard because we've been brothers all our life, but it also is a struggle because I'm pretty sure anyone that's a part of a group can tell you it's always hard when you got different opinions, different perspectives. And you have like everyone feels different ways about certain things, but then there's so many times where that's needed
Right.
because they got to keep us all in check in different aspects. As far as on the music side or even in life with certain things that I feel may be cool, but from the outside looking at it on a different perspective, it's not that cool. So sometimes I need my brother to, yo,
Right.
like
Right. Pull you
put me
back
back on
in.
track. Yeah. So it's a great thing about being in a collective.
Hmm.
It makes you better. It keeps you on your toes, and then it also like gives you space and room to be transparent with a group of peers that accept you for who you are,
Right.
and not only accept you for who you are. It's a tie. It's a tie, especially when God got something like written
When
and
he got his
for.
hands on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, good luck being a part of something that God meant to be together and try and tear it apart.
Right.
It always goes back to being together. We realized that through all of our years. We're all now at the ages of 30 and 35.
Mm-hmm.
So being together from young to now, the amount of experiences that we've had together, some crazy, like really crazy, especially growing up in New York,
Right.
like being, as they would say, the church boys and all that. Like coming
Yeah.
out of rehearsal on 169th Street over by Boston Road and walking from the church over to Soundview to go hang out at my grandma's house over by Underhill Ave and White Plains. And you got to
Yeah.
walk through all the hoods and all the
Yeah.
neighborhoods and all that. So it's like
Like you
it
made
grew,
these
it put
memories
us together.
together.
Yeah, we put them all, and we made them all together, and the trials and all the stuff that came with that too. Like it put us like a glue, like an inseparable.
Right.
Um, Me and my fiance, she got a joke that's like when she get married to me, she got 5 husbands.
Yeah. Because you come with
It's
the
like,
whole, you
yeah,
come with all of them. I
mhm,
mean, it's true though. She ain't
yeah,
lying.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So we
So
squatted up.
I think that's such a beautiful thing though, that you actually get to go through life and have this experience with people that you can share it with, in a healthy space and in a good space. And then, like having success is great, but having success by yourself is not as fun. So it
But
is about
it's
doing it
also
together.
dope too. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, so go ahead.
It's really dope because we all still have our own lanes
Right.
independently. The group is one thing, but like we also share a business together by the name of Mac Nation. Um, Shout out to the big homies for inspiring the name. So we called it Mac Nation. We've called it that since we were young kids. McFadden, Mac Nation.
Right.
So and with us sharing that together, everyone plays like individual roles. Like my brother Daryl McFadden Jr., he is our CEO. He's a visionary. He sees a lot
Right.
of things. He loves to like have multiple ideas. My brother Tyrell, he is the maestro. So he, as far as playing and the production, like we all have a production sense and write and create, but he is our go-to maestro.
Right.
And then like myself, like I'm very sociable. I love media. I love production. So I also present that to the table as well, marketing. And our brother Eric, we call him like the songbird. He's a praise and worship leader. So like he also worships as well, as far as like Daryl also being a
I love
minister. So it's
that.
like everybody still has their own individual lanes while
Right.
still being a collective.
Yeah. So we celebrate everybody's talents and interests.
Hmm.
I love
And help
that.
each
I
other
love that.
out. Like that call, like, yo, I need you. I need help.
Right. But
Yeah.
you know what
Mhm.
everybody's strong suit is, right? Where they're strong. And I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
important, like to understand that, like, okay, this is what you're good at. So we're going to use you for this. And this is what you're good at and enjoy. We're going to use
And
you for that.
weaknesses. And weaknesses.
Yeah. And weaknesses. Because then there goes the support. You know where they need it. So you've been in this music thing for a while now. So what has changed from the time that you was printing those CDs and burning them in those big computers? I know you know what
Oh,
I'm talking
man.
about.
Oh, yeah. I know
Um,
exactly what
to
you
where
mean.
we are now, like, because you have been in the midst of the evolution.
So basically, where we're at now, I'll go into the transition into where we are now. So we actually moved. We left New York, and we all now in Atlanta. When
Mm.
we were kids, oh, this is a funny story. Can I tell a funny story?
Go ahead.
So, ooh, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm gonna share it here now. My brothers and I, we were those kids with that little CD and everything. We had an uncle. His name was Gene Peoples. He is the head of the music label that we are now with called Sky City Music. And he was the producer for Bishop McFadden at the time, for our mentor and our father. And it's like once they never parted ways, but Bishop began to do projects with other people as well, and for some reason, but you know, our uncle saw us and where we were and where we wanted to be. We spoke
Mm,
about where we wanted to be, and for him to hear that for us at that age, he
right.
was like, man, like I love my nephews, and he kind of just put like a shoulder over us, like as a shield to like help us and help us grow and expand our minds as far as the business. Um,
Uh-huh.
Even now, still to the day, we're still with him, and ever since then, he we played the CD for him one day. Oh man, we played the CD for him one day. He took it, grabbed the CD. While we were playing it, he said, "Close that hotel room door." We were in another city. I think we were in Milwaukee or something like that. We were performing, and Bishop was performing as well, his group. So we were in Milwaukee. I believe I was like 14 at the time, and
Oh,
we come up. We were at the hotel that evening after the show, and he was like, "Oh, we want to play this song for you. We just recorded it." Blah 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 blah. Blah. So we playing it for him. He turned around, so looked who was in the room. He said, "Close that door." This is the most transparent thing that an uncle could ever do to you.
right.
Close that door. He closed the door. He pulled the CD out and he threw it. And he said, "That was whack."
What?
Yeah. He said that was whack. He said, "Y'all too dope to come out with this.
Right.
Like that was whack." And then threw it. Literally threw it. It like to be kids and to hear that, we like,
Yeah.
what?
At 14. Yes. Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, between the ages of 13, we all between men was the ages of 13 to 17. And to like hear that, we like,
Yeah,
oh,
because it
like,
sounds real harsh. It does.
but for him to tell us that was the most realest thing that anyone could ever do to us. Like,
Right.
because it was a nice record, but the quality of it, like
Right.
to listen to it now or to even listen to it a year after we cut it, we like, okay,
Right.
okay,
He knew you
he
could
had
be
a point,
better.
yeah, yeah, he had a point. So we went to like artist development with him at that point. He lives in Virginia and we live in New York. So as our two oldest brothers, they got old enough to get permits and licenses. We were hopping in the car driving to VA from New York as
Hmm.
teenagers, and from the ages of 15 to 20, around those years, we were driving back and forth from New York to Virginia to do artist development, to do like recording. Like today's age is different. Like work ethic is way different. To think about it
Yeah.
now, for us to be like 16, tell our teachers, hey, I'm about to go to Virginia Beach tomorrow to record with my uncle. Can I get like something to help me out real quick? I might miss Monday, but I'll be here Tuesday if you could just give me something, blah, blah, blah. And then come
Right.
back to school with the work done
Right.
and still, have that artist development. So it was a blessing. That transition was just like, it kind of molded us into building a work ethic and then also being around our uncles gave us great insight because my
Hmm.
uncle, he at that time, still till today, he's the music director for a lot of R&B artists,
Hmm.
pop artists, and hip hop artists. He's worked with B.O.B., Monica, Teddy Riley, Keith Sweat, recently New Edition, and many others, so many others as a music director. So for us to have him as an uncle from those teenage years to now,
Right.
kind of taking us along a journey with him, it was a blessing. And
Yeah.
then
A lot of people don't have that.
yeah, yeah, and that like we are so grateful for that to have our father mentor Bishop, and who prepared us for being an artist and then teaching us how to keep that soul and that quartet feeling alive, and also mentally get us prepared on a spiritual
Hmm.
level, being a
Hmm.
pastor, and then to have our uncle who was in the R&B industry, and then also outstanding producer all around, not just R&B, but gospel, pop,
Right.
other genres as well. Like to have both of those meshed together is like a blessing. And to have that's what brought me and my brothers here. We're now currently in Atlanta.
Right.
We left New York because that camp, that production camp, kind of left
Right.
Virginia and came to Atlanta. So us being in our early 20s at that time, 20, the whole entire group, we all was around 22 to 27 at that time. Like one by one, we all quit our jobs, put our clothes in garbage bags, threw them in the
Right.
trunk, and left New York and moved out here to Atlanta.
So what
And
have you guys been doing recently?
recently, we have been recording. Since we moved to Atlanta, it's been 8 years. Um, we've been recording. Like we've only released, I want to say, 3 singles since
Mm-hmm.
then. But those 3 singles was to, of course, let everybody know about our new sound, to still let them gravitate to the name. But in that time, we were able to do a awesome artist development that was needed.
Right.
Not only just on a musical level, but just on real life. And then like being adults and having to take on real life, still be an independent artist that's
Right.
partnering with the music label. It was a struggle. So we learned life while living here
Mm,
and still building and creating, because in the midst of us cutting our records, I want to say we've only released those couple of records, but we have about, I want to say, 2 or 3 albums of music done right now.
right.
Just waiting to be mixed and mastered. We just really been working on promotion, marketing, really getting us in proper doors, certain places. Like God's timing is everything.
Right.
And, just rushing and doing stuff, trying to put stuff out is there's a method to the madness
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
really taking your time,
Right.
really like fundamentally like learning the business as opposed to just running out there and then having someone trample all over you because you don't
Right.
know no better, or you don't have the knowledge or the tools or the people to gravitate to make it work. So
Yeah. So being
thank God,
strategic.
hmm you're very strategic. And then also we were able to work with other artists while still working on our own music, because like I said, our uncle, the head of the music label, Sky City Music, www.skycitymusic.com, for those who want to see what we got coming up this year. Um, we actually just got a lot of collective of different artists on the label together. So we have like gospel and soul together.
Right.
Um, it's us, McFadden, as well as another group by the name of the Mickens. They're another gospel quartet act. And then you have Calvin Richardson, who just recently we started doing a lot of great music for, and a lot of other artists who have tapped into Sky City Music for their production for live performances, such as New
Right.
Edition, Teddy Riley. So McFadden has been on a lot of the background vocals for a lot of those artists' live performances.
Ah. So
But
it's
those are
you
things
guys.
that something like that. They call us the nephews.
Yeah.
A lot of the older cats, they're like, yo, the nephews. And to come up, under that umbrella of like being able to like be like, they say the gospel guys, and then
Yeah.
like get a call and they're like, hey, I want like y'all to pull up to the studio to come check out the rehearsal so y'all can see the magnitude of how it's supposed to be. And then go
Right.
into the rehearsal, and it's Teddy Riley's rehearsal at Blackstreet.
Right.
To be there, and then Keith Sweat's rehearsals, or like New Edition rehearsals, and to really see the magnitude of where not just it is a ministry for us being gospel artists, but it is
Right.
also an industry and entertainment industry.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to learn how had to learn how to create to match ministry and performance together, and that's what we've
Mm.
really been working on. That's what
That's
we've really been
interesting.
working
Let's
on.
talk about that,
Mhm.
because how do you, I don't, not everybody does that. Some people do, and then other people don't even think about it. So how do you consciously do that with intent?
Well, from my perspective, everyone has their own method to their madness, because like look at Kurt Franklin. Look at artists like Kurt Franklin. He goes to a lot of arenas,
Right.
and it's a full performance. You'll have your lighting shows. You'll have your
Mm-hmm.
video graphics. You have all your cameras to do all your different iMac camera views. You'll have your audio A1. Like
Right.
the everything down to the back line is on point. You can compare this live performance to your secular artist.
Right.
then it'll be the same level of
Double.
performance and the same level of quality.
Right.
But then while in the middle of the show, God may tell him, hey, we need to go left real quick. And
Right.
he might go left for about 5, 7 minutes, like God do what he has to do to come right back into the performance, back into the
Hmm.
show. So, it's just really knowing when to I guess when that time is needed,
Right.
whether it's a song that you're singing and then it may be just one person that you see that song has that effect on, that they need that in that moment. And
Right.
it's like, hold on, run that back one more time.
Right.
And we running that part one more time just for you.
We're gonna sing
Because
that chorus again.
yeah, that we singing that chorus one more time just for you because
Right.
it's needed in that moment.
Yeah. That's interesting to think about it like that, that it is a concert, but it's also a ministry at the same time. And to understand that. Because I think some people lose that. Some artists lose that because they get so used to being an artist now that they're not doing the ministry part of it. So I think I like the idea that the intent is there. At least your heart is there. The intent is there to be like, you know what? I'm going to take this moment and I'm going to do what I do and not just be we're not just here for the music's sake, but we're here to use it.
hmm Whether it's like a conference, whether it's a church service, whether it's an arena show, whether it's a theater, it's not really on the building. It's about the relationship with God and being able to tap into that relationship to bring Him into the room. So as long as gospel artists still have that, but still grind as far as like rehearse 3 or 4 times a week, if
Hmm.
not twice a week. My brothers and I, we do like choreography because a lot of our inspiration is New Edition, the Jackson 5,
Yeah,
Temptations.
that
So we do a
quartet
lot of
dancing.
choreography.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we incorporate a lot of that into our performance and our vibe. So that takes rehearsal. That takes
Hmm.
like getting it
It takes
right.
work.
It's not like we're gonna jump on stage and be like, "All right, God, you got this one," and
Right.
then just do it. Nah, like it don't work like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. You
you
got to
gotta,
do the
yeah,
work.
you gotta know how to do the work. Be ready, so you don't have to get ready, and then also still like know when to tap in, when to really tap in, because as soon as that mic come in your hand, you got the
Hmm.
power. You know, like so as the mic touches your hand, you got power. Like
Yeah,
that's one thing that
yeah,
Bishop McFadden taught us. Like you got a lot of power when you put that thing in your hand. So when it's in your hand, do his work, do what you got to do, but still get your point across.
yeah. Use your voice.
hmm
So,
Yeah.
who are some of the artists that you would love to work with? I'm
Ah,
curious to know. Like, if you could work with anybody, who would you want to work with?
hmm. Artists and producers.
Yeah.
Um, well, I would try to broaden up this question on what aspect, like as far as featured on a record, writing a song for them, or just any
Like,
aspect.
I feel any aspect. Yeah. Like, who is somebody you're
Okay.
like, you know what? I always wanted to work with them.
Um. hmm,
Or I really
On
think they could
on
complement
a
what I do, what we do.
well, since we have, like you said earlier, some people see some things as secular. I'll break
Yeah.
it up for those people because we love you. Um, on the gospel side, like Kirk, of course, the Todd Tribbett, the Tasha Cobbs, like Fred Hammond, Marvin Sapp, because the gospel group they had commissioned back in the day, like a lot of our sound coincides with theirs.
Right.
Um, sheesh, a lot. They're dead and gone. Like I would have loved to see, even not even work with, but just love to see Mike, like be
Hmm.
in the session and just to watch it live and
Right. Just be in this space.
just to be in that space, just to
Me too. Me too. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Mike, James Brown,
Yeah.
Prince.
Yeah.
Um,
I saw Prince. I saw Prince.
how
Yeah,
is
I
it? You
did
love?
get
How
to
did
see.
you?
I saw Prince at Essence a couple years ago. I did get to see
I know
Prince.
that was amazing. I know
Yeah.
that was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw Prince as a kid and then I saw him again as an adult and it was the same.
It's the same. It's the same effect.
Yeah, it was
Same
Prince's
effect.
Prince. And there's nobody else that could be Prince but Prince.
No, speaking about it now, seeing that he's still here, Al Green.
Ah, oh
I would love for
yeah.
people Al Green.
That would be dope.
Hmm.
That would
And
definitely be dope.
to give you a taste of something that actually this will probably be the first time really speaking about it live. Um, we have a single that'll be coming out this year by the name of Leaving. Leaving by McFadden, produced by Scott City Music. It's a old Tony Tone record. Um,
Mm,
and my brother, we have a lot of networks and relationships with a lot of family members, people who we see as family. Some of
right.
our uncles from California, they play and they sing for Raphael Sadiq. So when my brother got the chance to meet him, and he brought up the song, like, that song Leaving, like, my brothers want to recut that. He was like, yeah. Like, he was like,
Hey.
yeah, I would love a gospel cut of that. Yeah. So
Yeah,
we recut the song, and that'll be coming this year. And
that's gonna be fire.
yeah, so God willing, the artist that I want to work with, Raphael Sadiq.
That is
So
so cool. I
yeah,
just love how you're putting this spin on gospel music.
it's it's all feel good music. Cause even
Yeah.
like Raphael, that conversation he had with my brother, like he told him like, boy, like he said, man, what you know about quartet music? Looked at him crazy, like, what I know about quartet music? Like,
Right.
yeah, like nigga, I used to go home from high school and go watch the old videos and clap my hands just like in the
Yeah.
same place. Yeah, so to hear that from like everyone that we ever came across or like been in their space while they were creating or even working with them, to hear them all say like gospel is
Mhm.
where it all goes back to, or
It
not even
does.
just gospel itself, all of them having relationships with Christ, even
Mhm.
still, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And we love it. Like it's breathtaking. It blows my mind every day to be in like some of the rooms with specific people. Um, like even recently, like we, by the grace of God, thank God for Scott City Music, and being under that umbrella with the New Edition, you
Yeah.
know, umbrella, and being able to have someone like Brooke Payne be in our corner, and we in rehearsal one day, and we just see a look come in, and then like somebody goes, we like, oh snap,
Yeah.
like did this just happen? Like it blew my
That's so
mind.
cool. It's like you
It's
have
so
so much
cool,
support
yeah.
and you have so much influence and you have so much energy and talent around you, that success is inevitable,
I mean,
because you're in a space and that the tools are all there. It's like all you gotta do is take it and run with it. And I think
that's
that's
crazy.
a lot of people don't have access to that. So that's an amazing thing to be like, look, I can pull on these people, I can pull on their energy, their talents, their even constructive criticism so that we could grow. And that like it's in a healthy space to be able to do that as a musician. I think that's amazing.
Oh, it's a blessing every day. And like, cause a lot of, when they say your network is your net worth, that means everything.
Yeah.
Cause like, I still, of course, I treat everyone equal the same,
Hmm.
but like to be able to have certain people that I can lean and depend on to when I have certain questions about anything in life. It doesn't even have to be music pertaining or the business or just to have those ones that you see as uncles
Right.
and ask them about life, relationships, goals, aspects, credit, finance, like,
Hmm.
hey, how can I want to get to buying a house, blah, blah, blah. To have those people to be able to pour into you, it
Right.
means so much. But then still being able to manage it because those people will only stay around for a reason. Not
Right.
not a reason, not a
Right.
reason, but you have to match the energy. Like if
Right.
they're not
Right. Right.
matching the energy or
Right. They ain't gonna
trying to
want
be
you
your best
around either.
self, they're not gonna want you right. If
They
you're
ain't not
not
gonna want you
yeah,
around either.
yeah. If you're not
So
trying to be your best self, then like what's the
right.
point?
Right.
So
I love
even if
that.
you have so if someone's watching and even if you don't have that connection, just continue to be your best self because that connection is gonna come. Like
Yeah.
It's inevitable, especially if you have that gift and you know what God put in you. No matter what genre it is, you know what God has for you, whether it's music, media, what God has for UK, it's for you. You know,
I
can't
love that
nobody
because
take
I
it
was
away.
about to wrap up, but now I'm going to wrap up on that because I really do believe that. I do think that, um, you know, what's for you is for you, but you got to believe it's for you too. You have to believe it.
That's a fact. If you don't, man, God got a way to pull you by that earlobe.
Right. You're going to learn. You're going to
And you
learn.
gonna come on over here.
Yeah.
Just like how he grabbed you. He was like, hey, you gonna do this podcast, girl.
Yeah.
Come on. Shout
Yeah.
out to your daughter, your little mama.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. So what's next? What's next? Where can we find you? What are you doing next? What are you working on? Like, where's everybody gonna
Yeah,
go to
yeah,
look for you next? What's up?
yeah, yeah.
What's the
Well,
2024
the
Rondell doing?
2024, we looking for more. Um, I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I'm also like an audio visual production technician for
Uh-huh.
live productions. I'm a lighting tech, so sometimes I also work on some tours as well as a lighting tech. So to have like both realms is amazing. So this year we'll be out on a lot of dates with like hours, McFadden dates.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you'll be seeing us with some other artists doing some background vocals. You'll also see us with like our music label that we're signed with, Sky City Music, will be rocketing off this year with a
Wow.
lot of things. We just had our media day yesterday with several artists. Feminine, they're all female group here in Atlanta. They're about to kill the game.
Yeah.
We females, our sisters. Calvin Richardson, you know, the Prince of Soul, everybody's favorite
Mm-hmm.
soul artist. He's gonna be doing a lot of stuff this year. McFadden's gonna be doing a lot of stuff this year. Our label mates, the Mickens, they'll also be releasing their streaming live recording project that we also got a chance to help work with. So
Nice.
it's a lot of things coming from under the umbrella this year, and then also outside the umbrella. Like I said, I'm getting married this year. Thank God.
Yay!
It's gonna be a good one. We've been together for 7 years. My baby came all the way down here, followed me from New York.
That's listen. You gotta do that. You gotta do that now. Now you don't have a choice. Like came all the way down there, changed. Like I think, but it's
Yeah,
also evolution, right?
yeah,
It's also being
yeah.
ready to be in that space, and I think that's
Yeah,
important too.
growing. I thank God for
Hmm.
growth. So really, 2024. It seems like to really answer your question, what's happening in 2024 is more,
Yeah,
like more growth, more expansion. Releasing some music, leaving the single will be coming from McFadden. You can find us all our social medias at We Are McFadden, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You can also find me at MacBoy Rock. You know, they call me Rock sometimes. That's my nickname that I came up with. They say Rock, rock the party because I like to dance, you know, have a good time. Um, so you can find me there as well. And also www.skycitymusic.com is the label. And you can find all of our videos, unplugs, singles, everything sourced through the website as
I love
opposed
it.
to we do stream out everywhere as well, but we try to bring everyone back to the hub.
I love that.
And yeah, yeah. And you'll also see some merch this year. Shout out to the McFadden,
I like
you know,
that. I like
which
that.
we
I want
actually
one.
made these ourselves. We some young men of many talents. We
Yeah,
make apparel as
apparently
well.
so. Apparently so. I'm like, what
You
don't
know,
y'all do?
by the grace of God, he blessed us to do a lot of things and have all the right people in our corner.
I love
I'm
this. So we're
grateful.
gonna
I'm
have
thankful.
new music coming out soon.
I got new music coming, new videos. We're actually working on an unplugged video as well that we're trying to do very soon. My birthday is coming up in March.
Wow.
I will send you a. You ever come to Atlanta, Kay?
Yes, I do come to Atlanta.
So you gotta let me know. I plan to
Yes,
have a event with live performances in March for my
I'll
birthday
be
as
there.
well.
You let me know.
I'm gonna let you know. That's
I
that's
love
another
it.
thing that I do as well. Promotions for events and also putting events together is another thing that I do as well.
This is
I
amazing.
try
You
to be
like
try to be.
you got like everything. You got it all like figured out.
I wouldn't say figured out
I mean, it
just
sounds like you
yet,
got it all figured out.
but you got to crawl before you walk. We getting there.
Right.
We getting there, and
Right.
one step at a time. And it's really growing. To take everything little by little that I've worked with throughout the years. Even on a promotional level, I used to work with a lot of promoters in New York. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to Derek Service, my boy.
Yeah.
I love Derek. That's big bro right there on the Rocks Entertainment. The first event I ever helped promote was Charlie Wilson and Tyrese at
Oh,
the theater at
wow.
Madison Square Garden.
That's big.
Yep. I coordinated the street teams. I helped with the graphics, uh, a lot of stuff since
That's
then. And
big.
I was 20 at the time,
Yeah, that's
32
big.
now, 32 now. So being able to take every lane of different parts of entertainment, music, media, live production, promotions, and try to mesh it all into one pot. That's your boy Rondell Bartley.
Yeah, you took all of your experiences and you
Hmm.
put them together to make something with it. I think not enough people actually do that consciously.
It The funny thing is, at first it wasn't conscious at first. It
Yeah,
wasn't conscious at first, but then it just became one full circle, like
yeah,
one
yeah,
full circle.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's how you know you're doing what you're supposed to do,
Hey, I take that. I take that and run with it.
right? Because you come back to it. You come back
Yeah,
to it. You come back to
it
where
all
you're
goes
supposed
back.
to be.
Hmm.
So that's how you know. That's my opinion. I feel like if you come back to it, that's how you know that's where you're supposed to be. That's what you're supposed to be doing, because clearly there's a reason that you're in that space over and over.
Preach, preacher.
that's just that's just my opinion. I don't know. That's what I
That's the
think.
truth, though. That's the truth.
That's what
That's
I
the
think.
truth.
That's
It's a circle. It's a circle.
it's a
It
circle.
all
Life is a
drops. It's a
circle.
circle. Life
Yeah,
is a circle.
it is a circle. It is.
Yeah.
It is. But you gotta have a good time while you're doing it, and you gotta feel, accomplished in the work that you do. And I'm listening to you and your accomplishments. And we was talking about that before I hit record, and you don't realize your
Hmm.
accomplishments. Like we're sitting here and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
snap, you did that. Like that's big at 20 years old in New York, because this market ain't no joke. Like you gotta elbow your way through it,
Hmm.
And
I
so
mean,
for you to sit here now and say,
hmm
okay, I did this, we don't often realize our successes and our growth and our accomplishments. Sometimes we just take it like, oh, but this is just my life. And that's
hmm
dope. But for somebody else who doesn't know it, you're looking at it and you're like, oh my God, look
that
how
can,
much you've managed to do.
and once again, it was all God. It was all networks and just working hard. Like I had a
Yeah.
homeboy I went to middle school with, and it happens that his uncle was the head of the company. And he was like, "Yo, I got my boy. He sings. He knows. He loves people. He's sociable. Blah blah blah. We should get him on. He's gospel, but that's my dude." And like
Right.
next thing you know, they like start with running the street team. I'm like, all right, cool. So I
Yeah.
had about me and 4 or 5 other young people out in the streets of New York handing out flyers. I come from my college course. I was studying business marketing at the time, and I'm on the train and I'm handing out flyers on the train. And then one guy take the flyer and laugh. He's like, "Yo, what's your name?" I said, "My name is Rondell." And he was like, I was like, "What's so funny?" He was like, "This is my event, right?"
Wow.
He's like, "I just so happened to take the train from." He lived in I believe somewhere out of the city kind of at the time. And he's like, I was just, took the metro north down, blah, 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 because I ain't feel like driving. And it just so happens that's how we
Wow.
met.
Look at
So
that.
work
That's
ethic,
that circle. Life is like a
that
circle.
circle, life is like a circle. Yep.
Life is
And
like
then
a
having
circle.
life is like a circle. So it's just God has ways of doing things. So just hang in there. It's my
Yeah.
advice to tell anybody. And that's my advice for myself because I still feel like I ain't accomplished anything. I still haven't had a accomplishment yet. I still want to have my gospel #1 on Billboard with my
Yeah.
brothers. I
It's
still want to be
coming.
able to.
It's
Yeah, it's on
coming.
the way. It's coming.
It's
It's coming.
coming. You just spoke it into fruition. So, you gotta
Hey,
plant the seeds
hey, come
and
on,
then
come
and
on,
then water them and then it'll
hey,
grow. That's
yeah,
that's how that go.
you be knowing. Come on.
That's
It's
how
about to
that
feel like
go.
Dutch in here. Come on. Blow.
Yes, yeah. I tell people all the time, you got to plant the seeds. They always say that the fruit don't come the same day.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You
So
got to water it. You got to put some
yeah,
water
you
in
got
it.
to water it. You got to put the work in. So you say it out there, you put it into the universe, and then
Mhm.
you let it do what it do.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and put this one in the air. This is about to be the
Yes.
best season ever. Stella.
Said Loud Podcast. Thank you so much, Rondell, for sharing time and space and energy with me and sprinkling us with some blessings and all the things that you're doing. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy to have met you. I can't wait to come to your party and see all the people who's going to perform. And then I watch all of my guests' growth. And I enjoy that too. I go, they were on my show. And I watch them grow. I really do. And I'm excited and happy for every single one of you because I feel like the people that I sit and share space and energy with is one, like a circle. And two, their energy is here for a reason, like their space, and they're doing so many amazing things that I want to share my space with them to let everybody else know. So thank you so much for being able to share that with me.
Man, thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I'm going to come back with the guys.
Yes, come back with the
group.
guys.
Yeah.
Come back with the guys when the song drops so I can play it.
You know it.
And we can get it out there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, hold on.
Thanks. Love.